Today's presentation is entitled Purity, How to Become a Man or Woman of Purity. Yahuah says, and delight yourself in Yahuah, and let Him give you the desires of your heart. Romans 13:14 says, put on the Master Yahushua, Messiah, and make no provision for the flesh to gratify its lusts. Before I go on, I would like you to note, in my presentations I'm using YHVH, in Hebrew Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, which is pronounced Yahuah instead of Lord, which is a generic title and not a name. And I'm using Yahushua instead of Jesus, which is not a translation, but a transliteration from a Greek mistransliteration and has no meaning either in Hebrew nor in English. Yahuah and Yahusha are the actual original names and the true nature and character of them. The Father's name is Yahuah, Yod, He, Vav, He. Hebrew's meaning is who is, who was, and who will be. And his blessed son is Yahusha, Yod, He, Vav, Shin, Ayin. The Hebrew meaning, Yah is our salvation, our deliverance, the word of Yahuah made flesh. Remember, Yahusha is the only one who claimed to be the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end, and the one that was pierced. Yahusha is the same Elohim that created the universe, the same one whose name is Emmanuel. Elohim is with us, walking among us. Aleph Tav created the universe. Aleph Tav was pierced, and Aleph Tav is Yahusha. We live in an age that not only marks sexual purity, but also confronts us at every turn with temptations aimed to lead us away from Yahuah. I met this beautiful young woman a few years ago. She was a speaker for the weekend and eventually drove me to the airport on the last day. When I looked into her eyes, her love for Yahuah and passion to live for Him was evident. I sat in the passenger seat and listened as her story tumbled out. She was a virgin when she began dating her college boyfriend. She loved Yahusha and thought her boyfriend did too. She would always imagined she would wait until marriage to have sex, but then she fell in love. Soon their relationship began to focus primarily on physical, and as a result they disobeyed Yahusha. Engaging in sexual sin, over time they both grew distant from Yahuah and their faith fizzled. So did their relationship. She described the relationship as unhealthy, but felt tied to him due to the sexual bond and couldn't break it off. Eventually, though, they did break up when he cheated on her and moved on to another girl. Heartbroken is an understatement. She justified their sin by telling herself, we will get married one day. But in the end, she felt used, hurt, and ashamed. It was at this time she ran back to Yahusha and experienced unconditional love, forgiveness, and healing. and discovered even though she had moved away from Yahushua, he would never move away from her. Men and women, purity is possible even after being sexually intimate in the past. Yahuwah can redeem a past and make it something beautiful. Purity is a desire of the heart before it's an act in the bedroom. Our hearts naturally gravitate towards that which we love. And when Yahushua is our first love, then purity follows as a natural overflow of our devotion. When we believe Yahuwah is good and his commands are for our good, then we want to put them into practice. Question number 1. Does having sex before marriage prove that you love that person? If a guy or woman leaves you because you won't have sex with them, then that tells you who they are. Selfish and lustful and not worthy of your heart. They do not respect you enough to wait for when you get married and probably won't marry you anyway. Question number 2. What if both men and women remained sexually pure till the wedding day? I firmly believe if more faithful believing men and women stood their ground and expected men and women to act righteously, then we would see men starting to respect women and women starting to respect men. Don't settle for anything less. Expect a man or woman to treat you as Yahuwah wants you to be treated, with love and respect. If they don't love Yahushua enough to make him their priority in their life, you have the wrong partner. Question number 3. Why did Yahuwah tell us to remain pure till our wedding day? Yahuwah, the creator of all things, including sex, designed it for one man and one woman in the context of a covenant marriage. He wanted us to first intimately know our partner and become best friends. Then, when we are married, it is a whole person that we fall in love with, not just the lustful physical gratification. Yahuwah gave us this gift as a blessing, but this gift can become toxic when taken outside of its rightful place. Sex outside of Yahuwah's design hurts us body, soul, and spirit. What kind of Elohim would he be if he didn't protect us from that which would ultimately harm us? Question number 4. Why are there so many unwanted pregnancies out of marriage, single mothers, and broken families? With every temptation we face, we must realize that we have an enemy who is lying to us about the goodness of Yahuwah. With every temptation, there is a lie that says Yahuwah is not good. He is withholding something from you. This is how the enemy has operated since the beginning. See Genesis chapter 3. Yahuwah is painted as denying us pleasure. Our Elohim is a good father who desires the very best for us. He longs to protect us from that which would harm us. As our Creator, He knows how our bodies and souls are wired. He knows sex is more than just a physical act. It is a spiritual bond that cannot be treated carelessly. He knows the pain, rejection, and struggles of broken marriages and single parents. Question number 5. What should you do when you first meet someone that appeals to you. Make sure you test the fruit of the person. Many claim to be believers but are not living a lifestyle of righteousness. Place that person on the altar and ask Yahuah to show you whether this person is the right marriage partner for you. Looks can often be deceiving. The lust of the eye and the pride of life has put many people into sexual bondage. As soon as you see that a person is not a true believer, do not continue the friendship, because it will pull you back into the world. When my husband and I dated, we talked frankly about our desire to remain pure. We also set up boundaries and accountability so that we could resist temptation. Oftentimes, both men and women tell me they are too embarrassed to talk about it. To which I say, if you can't talk frankly about your desire to honor Yahuah, then the relationship has more problems than you think. Any relationship, friendship, or dating should be one that we can freely share our hearts. As a man or woman who loves Yahushua, your desire to honor him should be something you are happy to share. Plus, if the friend is turned off by the topic, then you're not with the right person. Because my husband and I both made our intentions clear from early on in dating, it was easier to resist temptation, and yes, we were very tempted, but we both knew our first priority was honoring Yahuah, and therefore we both helped each other keep our commitment. I remember many nights when it was time to say goodbye that the desire to stay was so strong and the lure of sin so sweet. But we resisted with one simple statement: I want to cherish you and respect you enough to say, I love Yahusha more than I love you, so I'm going home. Question number 6. What is one thing you should never do when you are with your opposite sex? If possible, try to meet them in a park, coffee shop, or a public place. Do not invite them into your home or even let them know exactly where you live till you feel comfortable that you know them well enough to be invited into your home. The bedroom is off bounds, and if they have come to share a meal with you, make sure you stay your distance and avoid body contact. The person must respect your boundaries and agree to stick to them. If they decide that your friendship is not important enough, then it's better break it off now before you be emotionally attached to one another. If you live with your parents and they don't want to meet them, it's a warning sign that they are not serious about you. An eye-opening scripture that is packed with wisdom for becoming a woman of purity is Romans 13:14, which says, Put on the Master Yahusha and make no provision for the flesh to gratify its lusts. I recall reading this passage in my quiet time one day and pausing over the words, make no provision. Good intentions are not good enough. We need to plan for victory. Question number 7. Where do you go to have some fun together? Walking in a park, go for a picnic, walk in the dark, enjoying a nice meal together are some of the things you can do. Stay away from pubs, nightclubs, and stay away from alcohol and smoking. If your partner is not willing to follow the dietary laws of Deuteronomy 14 and not smoke or drink alcohol or eat pork and shellfish, then you can be sure you are with the wrong person. Question number 8. How do you spend your time together? Redeem the time. We intentionally planned activities so that you would not just sit around. We went to painting classes. We went mountain biking, hiking. We trained for a marathon. We took cooking classes and we planned events with friends. We intentionally focused our time on building our friendship. Today, I know this was the best decision ever. Honestly, we are best friends. Here's the truth. The physical aspect of a relationship is super easy. The physical will be there once you say, I do. What is difficult for most couples is communication, finding activities you both enjoy, and building a friendship that will last a lifetime. Spending time together is the best time to learn these things and to develop communication that involves more than wandering hands. Redeem the time. When you focus on building your friendship, you are laying a foundation that will last a lifetime. In 1 Timothy 2:9, it says, Likewise, I want women to adorn themselves with proper clothing, modestly and discreetly, not with braided hair and gold, or pearls, or costly garments. Your beauty should not come from outward adornments, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Question number 9. What 5 things you can do to keep yourself pure before marriage? Guarding your eyes, guarding your thoughts, make a commitment early to have sex only within marriage, not to become intimate as it will lead to sexual sin, fill yourself with righteousness from Yahuah's word, avoid situations that can be tempting. Verses on purity of the body from Scripture. 1 Corinthians 6:19 to 20. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the set apart Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from Yahuah? 1 Thessalonians 4:3 and 4, Colossians 3:5, Luke 11:34, 1 Corinthians 6:18 to 19, Matthew 5:30, Exodus 20:14, and Galatians 5:17. Don't settle. Any man worthy of your heart will cherish you. We also see this in 1 Corinthians 5:1 and 2, which says, It is actually reported that there is sexual immorality among you, and of a kind that is not tolerated even among pagans. For a man has his father's wife, and you are arrogant. Ought you not rather to mourn? Let him who has done this be removed from among you. So we see this even in the early assembly. It's not only today that we see types of things, it's throughout history. Questions to ask each other when you spend time together. Question number 10. What are the 5 most important qualities that you believe are important in a spouse? Some examples are Yahuah fearing, responsible, honesty, kindness, caring, good sense of humor, faithful, trustworthy, person of integrity, meaning good morals, self-control, reliability, punctuality, Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. Their spiritual beliefs and family beliefs. How strong is your spiritual life? Will we be praying together? Reading and studying the Bible together? Will we help each other walk closer with Yahushua? Set that example now when you meet up and see how it goes. Where do you want to live is another good question. Where do you want to live? And will it be in that city or out in the country? The type of home that you want. What does your dream house look like? Do you both have similar ideas about this? How important is your career or job to you? Be really clear about how attached you are to your job, because there may be times in married life where you might need to move, stop working for a while, or be the main breadwinner. So it's really important that you both know just how much the other loves or hates their job. Careers. What type of job do they have, and do they enjoy it? If you could be anything you want, what career would you like to have and why? Do they have plans to study further, though they can enjoy doing their dream job? If they have no ambition or desire to better themselves, be wary, as they might be looking for someone who will support them financially while you go out and work. How much time will you be spending together when you are not working? You also need to discuss how much work encroaches on your life together at home. If someone often stays late at work, is that a problem? If they must spend time at the weekend on holiday dealing with work issues, how do you feel about that? Now is the time to put in the boundaries and make a promise to each other not to take each other for granted. What about family background? Where did you live in your childhood and who took care of you? How many brothers and sisters do you have, and do you get along with them? Ask them about their parents, and do they honor and respect them? Genesis 2:24 says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Wherever possible, we are not to live with our in-laws or fathers and mothers once we are married. We need to build a home of our own. The parents often interfere in the marriage, which causes major problems. Friends. Get to know who your friends are and whether you like being with them. Ask your potential spouse, what role will these friends play in your life? Friends of the opposite sex should not be interfering in your relationship, nor should you go out with them if you are committed to your potential spouse. Lay out the boundaries now. What about likes and dislikes? What hobbies or sport do they enjoy? What is their favorite color, favorite song, favorite ice cream, favorite food, etc.? What other things do you like to do in their free time? Do they like pets? What kind of pets? And are you planning to have pets when you're married? How will we manage our finances? Will we both work and share the monthly expenses? Discuss these in detail. Avoid credit cards and stick to only spending what you can afford. Also discuss the monthly budget and how you will both spend the money wisely. It will be good to open a saving account to put some of both your income into it for future plans. Do you have any outstanding debts that you need to pay off before you get married? How did you get into debt? Do you gamble, play the horses, or go to the casino? All debts must be settled before marriage. Marriage agreement. If you have an inheritance from your parents or grandparents, it would be good to not include it in your marriage contract. Anything else that you both work for should be shared equally. If only one person is working to earn money, the other person is also contributing by working at home and taking care of the children. Discuss the importance of not letting your in-laws interfere with your marriage. How do you see your dream wedding? Will it be a small, intimate wedding on a beach or garden setting, or a large wedding that will cost a fortune? Who will pay for this wedding expenses? Where would you like to go for your honeymoon? Discuss different ideas and see if you can come to an agreement that you are both happy. No African traditions at the wedding. No bachelor parties. This is all worldly. Children and household chores. Do you want to have kids? And if yes, how many? It's imperative to get on the same page about kids before getting married. How soon do you want to get married and start a family? How will you raise your children to be Yah-fearing? Who will take care of the kids and the household duties? Who will do the cooking and cleaning? If you're both working, then you need to work out a schedule to share the household chores and cooking and cleaning. If you're open and upfront about it, it will save any disagreements or resentment later on. If you hate doing the bins but don't mind doing the washing up, be clear about it and come to an agreement that works for both of you. When exploring the division of labor in your home, make sure you consider all the factors. Who works longer hours? Who is at home more? Who has more flexibility in their job? What celebrations are important to you? Will you take turns to celebrate with each other's family or host your own celebrations at home? And what about birthdays? If you believe a birthday to be a big extravaganza, and they don't even see the point in cards, you need to be clear about this, so neither of you have false expectations. Yahuah's faithful believers should not be celebrating birthdays and pagan holidays. What is your dream holiday? How often do you intend to take a break from a busy lifestyle? Compromise will be the key here. There's got to be some give and take, so you both feel refreshed and happy after a break anyway. After a breakaway. Are you able to take a weekend off every month just to be together and maybe do something different? Another question, how will we deal with conflict? Discuss the importance of good communication and discuss this in detail so there is no surprise later. Proverbs 16:24 says, kind words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Ephesians 4:29, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. James 1:19, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Ephesians 4:15, instead speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become in every respect the mature body of Him who is the head, and that is Yahushua. Colossians 3:8, you must also rid yourselves of all such things as these: anger, rage, malice, slander, and filthy language from your lips. So make a promise to always speak the truth and not have any secrets between you. Discuss your past as well, so there are no surprises later that could become a problem. Live a righteous life and trust in Yahuwah's perfect timing to find you a Yahuwah fearing spouse. Getting married Yahuwah's way. Wedding or engagement rings cannot be found in the Old or New Testament. The Bible gives no indication that finger rings were used. Wedding rings were introduced into Catholicism by Pope Gregory I in 860 AD, decreed that as a required statement of nuptial intent, the groom-to-be had to give his intended an engagement ring. He further decreed the ring to be of gold, to signify financial sacrifice. The first diamond engagement ring is the one given by King Maximilian in 1477 to Mary of Burgundy. Wedding rings can be traced to idols and heathen religions. It is not just the image of the idol we are commanded not to possess, but rather any part of the idol itself. Thus, to make oneself after the image of the idol is to practice idolatry. All images of false gods and goddesses show the use of earrings, finger rings, bracelets, nose rings, and other jewelry. Where do we find the same practice associated with the Elohim of the Bible? Did Yahusha wear jewelry? Did the apostles and the early Christians? The answer is no. The wedding ring is first a circle, which is said to mean eternal or unending. Marriages were never eternal in the scriptures, but rather until death. Afterward, a spouse could marry again. The idea then of eternal marriage as symbolized by the ring is not biblical but satanic. The ring gives a false testimony. When you say with this ring I thee wed, you are relying on the ring to seal your marriage when in reality you should be saying, today I make a covenant with Yahuah and with you, of your spouse to love, honor, respect, and cherish them all the days of my life. The signet ring is the earliest type of ring mentioned in the Bible, which was used by kings and official documents. True followers of Yahushua Messiah do things according to the scriptures, not according to the worldly pagan traditions of wearing engagement and wedding rings, which are pagan in origin, which Yahuwah detests. Yahuwah told us not to learn the ways of the pagans and not to copy their customs. Leviticus 18:3-5. Keep Torah. That's important. That is salvational, not what the pagans do. In Proverbs 28:9 it says, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer shall be an abomination. A religion without Torah leads to what? To paganism, idolatry, and confusion. And that is how we ended up with Christianity. Remember, Torah is a covenant that actually was blood ratified, a legally binding agreement between Yahuwah and his people forever. See Exodus 34:27 and Deuteronomy 29:1. Did you know that rings are a symbol of the serpent that circles around your finger? In ancient Rome, iron rings were given to brides to symbolize unity between the wife and the husband. Did you know the first wedding ring dates back to 3,000 years ago? The first recorded evidence of a formal exchange of rings between two people was found in ancient Egyptian writings, better known as papyrus scrolls, featured couples exchanging rings made of hemp or wreaths. In ancient Rome, the groom would represent his future bride with an iron ring. This gesture started the trend of using precious metals in our wedding bands today. The durable metal represents permanence and strength, representing the bond of the couple. Evidence dates back that Romans were the first to engrave their metal rings. The meaning of the wedding ring as a symbol of marriage commitment does not find its origins in the scriptures, but in pagan mythology and superstitions. The fourth finger does not contain a special nerve to the heart. It is superstitious to believe if a person removes their wedding ring that evil will befall the marriage. Did a ring join them together, or was it Yahuwah? This is exactly what has happened with the use of the wedding ring. Superstition is believed, and this is witchcraft, as you are trusting in the ring to keep your marriage together instead of trusting in Yahuwah. Many claim they need to wear the ring to ward off men or women who might think they are otherwise available. This is not true. The man or woman who is married will not be a flirt, will not entice lust, and will come out plainly and say, I am married. There's no need to allow a pagan superstitious symbol say what should be said with lips and conduct. What entices men and women to commit adultery and fornication is the way they dress, wearing sexy, skimpy clothing, revealing all their sexual parts, thus making them look like prostitutes. When you dress modestly, you can still look beautiful, and it shows that you respect Yahuah enough to look like the bride of Yahusha, and not like the worldly men and women who dresses to invite sexual sin and lust. 1 Peter 3:3-6. Let your true beauty come from your inner personality, not a focus on the external. For lasting beauty comes from a gentle and peaceful spirit, which is precious in Yahuwah's sight, and is much more important than the outward adornment of elaborate hair, jewelry, and fine clothes. The wedding ring originated in Babylon, the cradle of civilization. That is why in the Bible the whore, the false church of Christianity and Catholicism, is decked with silver and gold and dressed like a prostitute. The most ancient ring discovered there is in the shape of the eternal serpent. The image of the serpent biting its tail to form the circle of the ring is an ancient satanic symbol. Ouroboros ring, meaning it has been used in various cultures to signify the continuous cycle of life, death, and rebirth. This ancient symbol can be seen today as an Ouroboros ring worn as a reminder of our personal transformation and growth. The same Ouroboros ring is a symbol used by the Theosophy cult, belief in reincarnation. Satan as a serpent, that great dragon of Revelation 12, has by this symbol joined a man and a woman under his cult. Yahuwah is not the serpent symbol of any wedding ring, nor is he the symbol of the wedding ring in any fashion. We may trace the ring not to the Elohim of the Bible, but to the accuser of the brethren. Where is there any ring that symbolizes Yahuwah? Did Yahuwah provide wedding rings for Adam and Eve? Remove this idolatrous symbol from your fingers and dedicate your marriage to Yahuwah, who is the glue that will keep you together, and have a blessed marriage. The fact is, over 70% of married spouses who commit fornications do not remove their wedding rings prior to the act, during the act, or after the act. Wedding rings have not stopped one act of idolatry. Not one husband or wife has said, I cannot commit adultery because I have my wedding ring on. It's time to remove all pagan idolatry from our homes, including wearing an engagement and wedding ring. Rather use the money that you would have spent on expensive rings towards your new home or honeymoon. Stop following the world and paganism. Fill your mind with Yahuwah's word. Let it transform your life. Psalms 119:11. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against you. Please give us a thumbs up if you agree with this message. Shalom. The ultimate provider is Yahushua HaMashiach. This message was created by Lifeline to Yahushua Ministries. It was made to a PowerPoint presentation and recorded by myself. You can reach me at Malachi4, DOT4 at gmail.com. You can go to my website, thevictorygeneration.net. You can also contact Lifeline to Yahushua Ministries in South Africa at this given address.